counteract that. You do have, well, much more durable heroes, much more presence in team fights, in terms of control at least, especially with all these ET around and Emo's Kunkka. So there's more options there for early fights. IG, you're gonna have to play a bit faster, try to punish VG for going for that slow farming core once more, and try to, at the same time, try to give Flyfly some space to breed. We saw him in game 1, he just did not have that safe time to farm. That's something IG will have to sort of prioritize here in game number 2.
Now, see if it all pans out. Game 2, IG need to win this one to try and force game 3, and well, if they don't, not yet, but they will be knocked down to the lower bracket playoffs, and it's a lot rougher down there than it is up here in the upper bracket, that's for sure. And of course, if you do get knocked out, you have to play another best of 3 today. I don't really want that. I mean, I said it wasn't the end of the world if you lose, but it could be, as if you lose that lower bracket first round, you're just out of the tournament. So it could be a very, very hard day for whichever team loses this first round of the upper bracket.
It's gonna be really key just to maintain that good stride. You don't want to have to make it harder for yourself in this tournament, of course. So we'll see if IG can hold out. Still, a bit of a shakeup we forgot to mention. VG, they do swap some of their heroes around. It's PYW on that Batrider this time, and Yang is on the core Shaker. So they want to get faster farm Shaker. They want that fast blink up. They want to be ready to bring the fight towards IG. I don't mind this. PYW on the Batrider, he can just play in the jungle really fast anyway. You need that catch-up farm. So just giving Yang Shaker means your Shaker will be online a lot faster.
That's very true. And it's not like PYW can't do the same thing anyway that you would do if you're an offlane Batrider. Like, you're gonna have less XP, but at those earlier levels, you should have enough to be able to just annoy the heck out of Flyfly and this PL. See, they can get it done. Of course, Yang will just be focused on farming himself up on this Shaker. He's already actually got a bomb queued up on that ES, ready to go, but Flyfly wanted to contest for the bounty, but eventually does just back off. That's going to be a 3-for-1 trade, or no, never mind, it's going to be a 2-for-2 trade. So I thought somebody from VG Gaming would the bottom one, but nobody bothered. So IG do manage to grab both there. A nice little even start, both teams.
Yeah, it's gonna keep it fairly tied up. I think the offlane for IG in this case, with JT on the Omni and Kaka and Rubik, it's not as tricky. You've got sustain once more in JT, but Kaka on a ranged hero can try to trade hits and slow down that farm with a fade ball. So Eurus shouldn't have as much of a free time. We'll just see how much pressure they do apply in this matchup as DY is really just trying to apply as much harass as he can with Thunder Strike.
Yeah, just the classic things. You do not deserve. Thunder Strike over and over again. He probably won't even bother trying to get JT. There's really no point in doing so. He'll just be able to read him with all the regen he does have.
This one was always.
I was looking at the mid lane for a second. You'll see Emo versus Ori now. Last matchup was definitely a bit difficult for Ori. This one arguably even more so.
Radiant's turret has been killed.
It's very, very hard. Once you've got a few more levels up in Heartbringer, impossible to land against this kind of hero. Ori will have to be very, very careful about how he plays this matchup.
Yeah, there's a lot of really strong trading potential for Emo, although he's got to be a bit careful as well. If Ori can latch on with Remnant and then follow up with some hits of his own, it can be rather tricky. It's just adds more breathing room. So it's down to how the supports rotate in, and that does mean top lane where they do lock in Yang.
Definitely a lock in. Flyfly to throw the landslide isn't gonna be enough.
Radiant's bottom tower is
They
under
can't
attack.
get the final hit in. So yeah, we'll be able to walk away with his life intact. PYW with the sticky napalm turret slowing them down enough. Yang's really his lucky stars with that one though. Now the storm is coming in again. Flyfly has another landslide. But Enchant Item's gonna be there. Flyfly, however, does manage to get the first blood. Yang TP back up once he's respawned.
It's a lot of a better start for IG. At the least, it can punish Yang a lot more consistently. You know, all this Shaker wants is to farm out. He doesn't offer any levels in the fissure, so there's no real way to bail himself out. It's down to PYW to try to harass him out. And while the PL can purge himself, Ollie on the other Titan is fairly tanky, so it's tricky to actually work this lane for VG, at least in this early point of the laning phase.
It is. Eurus is having a much slower time on Titan Morph this game. He's currently 7-0. The JT and Kaka are zoning him out very, very nicely on that Morphling. He was going for the small camp pull, but it's not really going to be that effective. Kaka is going to intercept. Won't really be able to go for the large camp pull afterwards. That lane is eventually just going to push out again. Here for Eurus, he doesn't really have much of a choice. Have to take what he can get. But I love the fact that IG is making this lane work. Like, the Omni Knight is still a very, very dominant hero in the laning phase. With top lane PYW does end up killing off Ollie right behind the T1 tower. That's a pick up there from VG Gaming.
Yeah, and that's one of the things you have to watch out for with the support badge. You hit level 3, you're still in a good point to find those kills, and with this really nice stack they've built up for PYW, if you don't contest this, then at some point the Batrider is going to find some flash farm as well. So I already see Fly trying to get this camp to work in his favor by getting that pull off, but if they do intercept, that's not really a good time there for IG.
You try to protect the illusion rune there for Ori,
Radiant's
but
middle
Ollie
tower
will end up
is under
picking it.
attack.
Ori will just have to wait until the 5-minute bounty runes are up instead. I mean, Ori's still farming great. I'm going to give him that on the Void Spirit. He's doing a fantastic job considering the circumstances. Emo is just keeping up on the Kunkka at the moment. Needs that full bottle up on that Void Spirit soon, though. So getting it low now. Have to wait a couple more seconds and go to the boundary rune spot. Because top lane looks like they're thinking about making a play on Ollie, but Ollie's going to be just fine to run away on the Titan. Yang can't really do much right now on the ES either. He's going to wait for a lot more levels than this. And speaking of Yang, John, I mean, his sum's not bad, but it's not amazing either. He still hasn't got that bottle up yet.
Yeah, it's been slow going for the Shaker, and it's just really down to how much more IG can play around here. I mean, there's only so many hits Yang can really trade with Fly. See the PL is certainly having a better time here than Fly was having game 1. Although you can start to apply that pressure now. With some mana up, with a fissure up, you can force Fly in tricky spots, so he's got to be a little bit careful, but you're not going to see major action until an early level 6 for Yang. At that point, that's when you really have to be cautious, but it's going to be a while until you hit that point here.
He's going to take that stack now for himself, and he's going to get all the XP for himself as well. Yang not really going to soak that XP at all, just going to give it all to the Batrider. PYW now going to hit that level 4 mark, and looks like he's just going to continue his jungle escapades. Misses the stack timing there onto that neutral camp, bit unfortunate, but won't matter too much. I mean, for a haste rune, unless he doesn't go for it, that'll mean Emo does manage to take it for himself. Looks like Ori wasn't around the area anyway to be able to bottle that haste up as he was in the fountain. Now Emo would look to try and make a play with this haste rune, but Ori is the one who jumps in first. Neither hero really has supports around, so it's not like they're going to kill each other off. Bit of harassment up from Ori. Looking to make his way down the bot lane, see if he can set up a kill attempt. It will have to be onto Kaka, right? You can't really go for JT at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that Omni's a really tricky target. The one issue for Ori is that he's walking right under ward, so the opening isn't there, although pop Yang.
Problem, but still making a run for him. But eventually Emo. He had the haste rune, so he just takes the kill for himself. The great rotation out from Emo. Or with his rotation, didn't manage to find anything. Just had to roll his way back to the mid lane.
And this pacing for IG is working out a lot better. Mind you, is coming out at the cost of, say, 2 obs hordes for IG just to watch that movement of Ori, but as long as they kind of avoid the moments when he wants to strike, and you're not giving that Void Spirit the opportunity to snowball hard.
That seems to be the smart way to play it, isn't it? Like, as long as you know where the Void Spirit is, it's not like any other lane really kills anyone in VG, because they are going to jump onto Kaka now mid lane, forcing a lot of rotations in. Kaka will die, they can get the trade into PW. That's X-Back from Emo, and it won't prove to be enough. I guess you're still okay with that if you're VG Gaming. You did get killed first, you did force those rotations. Or
Radiant's bottom tower is under
his route
attack.
there. Very redundant, and just turns around with the actual snap. But there's going to be a turret coming out with a stomp and Ori. That was overly confident. Clearly not really realizing JT was there on the Omni Knight, but that was very, very confident nonetheless.
Oh yeah, that was strange. I thought they saw the TPs in, I thought they knew the retreat heroes there.
Radiant's middle tower
Ori got
is under attack.
no real reason, and the one benefit for VG is that you do free up the side lanes, you do give some space for Eurus to play catch-up farm. He's number 2 now in net worth in last hits, so that's somewhat of a trade-off here for VG. It's working out. It's just, you need that same space for Ori. You know, the Void Spirit does need a snowball start, and Ori's gonna try to make it happen. He rotates up top instead.
Find a kill. That's the real question here. Well, it's going to be Kaka that's getting jumped on, so it's not too hard of a target as Ori is going to barely spot him out, but
Radiant
Kaka
structures
already out
are
of range, so
fortified.
instead bot lane JT almost
Dire's
does go
top
down, but
tower
Eurus
is under
can't
attack.
quite finish the job thanks to
Dire's
Ollie.
structures are
That's a
fortified.
nice stomp off. JT going to be fine to just wait out his purification and Heavenly Grace. And, well, those are a lot of angles stacked up right next to somebody later on. But close call there.
Dire's top tower
IG.
is under attack.
Top lane, Ori. Be in danger. Emo does connect with the X. The sim lane won't allow him to know. It doesn't actually duke out the torrent. A nice bait from Emo. Cancelling off the initial torrent. That's the great thing out from the Corker.
Yeah, I mean, right now, IG's finding that early start they want. They're hitting their stride here. Emo's a lot more successful in these early rotations, and VG's just playing a lot slower. Now, mind you, this is what you'd expect from VG's draft. It's just a lot slower to come online, although they might have caught Flyfly in a weird spot.
Potentially, Lasso is going to come out. They do try target and Flyfly. He really wanted to kill him on that ride. That was a very aggressive attempt out from the PL. Very, very early on, and it does not pay off at all.
And that kind of offsets these earlier losses they were taking up top. Just killing off a PL like that, keeping him below the Morphling. Gale needs to be a bit faster than Morph, just to really take advantage of the power spike you get with a Manta Diffusal. And as long as that the Morphling's always going to be a step, always going to have an answer. They do group 4 heroes bot though. They really do want to start punishing Eurus here.
Can they though? He just waveforms out of there. Already strength morphing to the max. It's just not gonna die. You've got your full team down at this bot lane basically. I guess Emo is not really anciently, so he's not really part of this. They're gonna just try and apply pressure to that T1 bot tower instead. But look like Eurus isn't quite done. He's calling his teammates in to try and help out the defense. So he's not really interested in letting this one go. JP just gonna go on to the tower. They are still waiting there with Ollie on the Titan. Emo is walking his way on the Conquer, but more TPs are coming in now from VG Gaming. PYW does show himself with the static storm being dropped after the glimpse, but now the stop into both flying in. They should kill off PYW, but now Yankees flied in. JT did get back, but it's a bit of a lack of coordination from VG Gaming. They weren't able to get anything like the Echo Slam off, and I think they are able to back off.
That's a really big win for IG. They have VG commit a lot of resources down bot. The tower is still set to go as long as IG applies that pressure. VG's not in any position to try and trade
Radiant's
yet, so
bottom tower
they
is
are
under
running
attack.
out there. That's time where Eurus wasn't farming up, that's time where Yang wasn't farming up for his blink, although you're starting to hit those points. Yang is about 100 gold off his blink. That's the point where VG gets more options to start these fights. They
Radiant's
really
bottom
do
tower
need to
has fallen.
start to find those answers. As IG, I mean, it's not an overwhelming start. It's 3-6, but only a 1k advantage. And a lot of that is on Emo, but they are trying to get some space together for their other cores to farm up. Firefly's got his own favorable spot in jungle, and VG's just not set to really rotate that deep in to punish the PL.
Not quite yet, but now with that blink up on Yang, they may be willing to make that big rotation out. Of course, Yang is going to be looking to make a very quick blink echo if he can. Get that surprise reveal going. In fact, he keeps his courier behind the tier 1 tower with the blink dagger up so nobody sees it. So it'll play out from Yang. Gonna farm the mid creep wave first before he does make that big rotation with his team. But he already has a smoke that he's bought out as well. And he's just gonna pop it by himself. He does put out Ollie and Titan. They could just set up for an easy kill onto that Elder Titan instead of anything else. DY gonna get back. Yang's not into the shot. He's
Radiant's
still
middle
stuck
tower
around
is
the
under
area.
attack.
And looks like he'll just throw a Fisher in and eventually will show off his blink to kill off Ollie. Just will be able to take the
has
kill.
been killed.
And top lane,
Radiant's
there
middle
was a bit of a
tower is
chase
under
over to
attack.
Kaka, but he does manage to outrun them, and now it's VG Gaming's time to run as Emo has made the rotation up on the Kunkka. But he's not able to find the exit to anybody, so he'll TP back down to the mid lane instead. Does get the X off onto Yang. Torrent? No, he blinks out in time. Timing was not perfect out from Emo this time around. And now Emo, he's going to be a little bit careful here. No keeps up on the Disruptor will make it so he is able to run out of there. Oh, Vichy, they're still going just fine. I'd say you've got a nice power spot in IG now with Firefly with that defusal. In fact, he's making the jump onto PYW. But the Batrider will eventually just be able to run his way out of there. He'll be just fine.
Yeah, this is still somewhat okay for VG. I mean, IG's hitting their strides, but VG's still not too far behind. Again, it's a 1k lead for IG. They're still getting farmer Eurus and to catch JT out.
He's in big trouble. Just the amount of stuff you've got on Yang at the moment, it makes it so hard to run out of there. JT actually does decide on the minus build up as well. So, but we've commented that this build up might
Radiant's
be a
middle
little bit
tower is
greedy,
under
but
attack.
JT, he feels confident. Let's just go ahead and pick that up, and now Emo gonna get scouted out.
Dire's
D1,
bottom tower
Benedict
is under
not gonna
attack.
really hold Emo in. They do still have that Echo Slam to play with, but they're just not finding the right opportunity quite yet.
Yeah, I mean, this slower pace might seem bad for VG, but again, IG is the one that wants to play fast. All the slower pace does mean it gives time for PYW to farm up. He's a lot less active in this Batrider. You know, he's working towards his own meter hammer once more, just for that control. So you're still getting tools up and running here for VG, or he's still saving up for his Eul's wait until he has that additional control, and Eurus is going staple.
The lasso off, but it's just PYW by himself at the moment. But he actually forces so many rotations with that lasso. Eurus does eventually show himself mid, but it's like he wasn't really interested in getting involved in the
Radiant's
first
middle
place.
tower is under attack.
Now, they'll TP DY up top, where they might try to make a play onto Firefly as they do bait him in with Ori. Yang is around the corner with Neko, but there is a
Radiant's
ward
middle
scouting
tower is under
around. That's not
attack.
their ward on the dice, but
Radiant structures
this
are
will
fortified.
it's gonna cut Yang. And, well, now, I don't know what's going on with Parker. He took a bird from Emo, and Yang is set to just die. In fact, they're gonna take
that's-
the Ancients as well.
That's a really big win for IG to just apply that pressure on the map, force VG in a spot where they haven't been able to find their
Dire's
openings
bottom
with that
tower
slam, and
is
that's
under
just
attack.
costly, although they might for a counterfight here.
Yeah, they haven't really got lasso on PYW. They're gonna get the thing back. Real Firefly into the static storm. A painful play out from DY. Ori is trying to burst it down the fly. He will not go down.
Dire's
don't
bottom
have
tower
damage
is
output
under
quite
attack.
yet without Yang or Eurus.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And so it looks like they're kind of back to the drawing board here, VG Gaming.
Dire's
More
middle tower
fun to be
is
had
under
at the
attack.
moment. IG, they are certainly looking to be in the driver's seat.
Oh, they definitely are. They know they can apply this pressure out. VG's forced to play an even slower game and catch PYW out.
Star Rider has been having a rough time, and PYW is gonna die once again.
Ooh, it's just not the way they'd want this to go. I mean, they've had that blink in their shaker for a long time, but they're still waiting for other key items. They're gonna make a move on JT, or at least force him to think twice about this spot, but they're being encircled here.
A lot of rotation down from VG. Eurus does TP away in time. So, IG are being needed to run around the map quite a nothing, but now Ollie does find 3, but the problem is he finds 3. There's too many BMs to control, so he will go down. But now Emo's coming in with his boat onto Yang. They'll lock him down on the high ground for a little while. Yang doesn't have his blink up for a few seconds, but Lasso is going to be there. Emo not going to be dragged up, and now the Echo does come up from Yang into that kinetic field. No static storm for another 2 seconds. But might not need it because Emo is dropping a solid Firefly. They're keeping him alive for now. But there goes Emo. Now Firefly is set to also die. And Yang, he's not done. He's chasing down JT on the Omni. Has Fisher back up in a second. Eventually will connect, but now the stomp's out from Ollie. Get low enough, but a great static storm out from PY with the kinetic field is going to allow Eurus to go in there and clean up. And they just want JT on the Omni. Looks like they will be able to secure the goal.
Ooh, yeah, that's the team fight we were looking for from VG. They line it up, they finally get that first Echo Slam out for the blink, and it's very worthwhile. They transition to a really good objective as well, going for that mid-tier 1, giving them that control on the jungle, and IG, in a snap, loses the 3k lead, from 3k down to less than 1k, and VG's got a lot more room to breathe. They even managed to finish up PYW's Meteor Hammer, so you've got that follow-up to the lasso, you've got to wait for this Batrider to shove lanes out, and he's setting up for a blink into the BKB. So that initiation for VG starting to build up nicely. You've got the Yuletide Ori up and running, of course, so he can chain stun as well on his own in the Ags, and that would be the major spike for Void Spirit. Just having that AoE silence is going to be amazing these fights still. IG, they know they've still got some power left. They smoke up trying to find a pick off.
And they'll run right next to Ori. Smoke's gonna be broken. They do split out Ori there, but Emo, he wasn't in range for the X. So Ori, he's just gonna run his way out of there. X does eventually connect. Assimilate is gonna be expended at the right time. Even the Yules, just in case. Make his way out. It's a bit of a missed opportunity out from IG. They're kind of just desperate for any kill they get at the moment. As time drags on, Eurus is only getting bigger and bigger. He's getting close to that Aghanim Scepter now on that Morphling. Once that's up, the ES Morph combination is online. That's when things get very, very silly for Morphling. I just don't think IG have enough to do with that at the moment.
Yeah, speaking of, Firefly.
D1, Static Storm going to be dropped. Firefly does juke it out nicely. Yeah, the X is going to be out of the D1 with the disruptor. Firefly just going to go after him, but now the lasso, Echo being Yang. It's decent Echo. AT's get bursted down. Even will finally throw the boat out. They are at least going to get to that top. PYW and DY both dying for the sake of that Omni Knight. That would be the end of that. VG Gaming want no more of this.
Yeah, it's not the most worthwhile trade for VG. Kind of flub the Static Storm there. If it did land on a real PL, perhaps that could have given VG something better to trade with, but they force a fight right at tier 1. It's an easy access point for IG, and they make the most about it. So VG's forced to back off. If there is push happening down in this bot tier, you're not in position to defend. That could be a free objective as well for IG if you force that issue out.
Line play, the PS and rely on the Morphling. That's really over now, yeah. Still with the pitch. PYW unable to get control of the lasso on. It is on cooldown, but against is be the D1. And is still slowly but surely dying.
Dire's top tower is
Eventually,
under
Ollie
attack.
does submit the ult to get him out of there. So they will just let this tier 2 tower push go, or maybe not. Flop play is being healed up by JT. They wants to go back in. Looks like he is going to be very, very committed to going after that tier 2. Gaming will continue committed to defend, but now there's going to be a lift up, and the static storm does not let on Firefly. So yeah, it's going to be an aging trouble, or he will be in. They cannot save the CS. That's too tough. Is definitely set to just end up dying here on the peak.
Yeah, those were some strange decisions to defend.
Radiant's
Again, they
bottom
committed their
tower has
TPs under
fallen.
course before that push to bail out, so the course couldn't join in. They lose that tower, they lose a couple of heroes they shouldn't have, but that was enough time for Eurus to safely farm up his ag. So that more picker combination to play, and we know how silly that can get. There's a lot of control, a lot of damage coming out onto Eurus now. That might just give them the edge when it does come down to a big fight.
To this day, I can't believe this combo of Morph ES is still a thing. Like, I can't believe us from this hasn't removed it in some way. It's not as broken as it used to be, but it's still pretty broken. We'll see if Eurus can pull it off here. This team does need to try and claw their way back into the game. They've lost that net worth lead they did have just a few months ago. Perhaps a smoke. They're all grouped up. DY is holding a smoke in the backpack, but for now he's just gonna hold out. All this time he's giving Firefly a lot more space to farm on that PL, and he is currently just holding 2.5k, and it looks like he does want to work into perhaps the Satanic on this PL, and he's gonna come up fairly soon, John. He's got almost enough for that Reeve.
Yeah, it's going to be a really tanky PL, hard to deal with, and it's just going to be compounded by that Kunkka.
That's the similar down from Ori, just avoiding the X-Back. Of course, the Emo does have the BKB up, and they are going to go for the smoke with that. JT missing out on the smoke, but he'll just follow his team. On top of that, Ori is very, very close to that Aghanim Scepter now in the Void Spirit. This is definitely decent time now for IG if they can
Radiant's
catch this
top
Void
tower
Spirit
is
up
under
before
attack.
he does get that Axe up. Instead, IG might just try and take over this Radiant side triangle. Well, that looks like the game plan. They do reveal themselves by taking
Radiant's
that
top
Sentry Ward
tower
up.
has fallen.
Not to mention, Firefly did just take the T1 top tower. IG,
Dire's
and
middle
rather
tower
Vici
is
not
under
interested in
attack.
fire at the moment.
Scanning.
They'd rather have hit the team plan,
Dire's
farming up.
structures
You
are
have that Axe
fortified.
up on Ori.
Radiant's
50
top
gold
tower
off,
is
so-
under attack.
We'll just continue trying to
Dire's
trade
bottom
towers here.
tower is under attack.
I think it's a decent way to play it. Do smoke up his forward, don't they leave Ori behind? They want to reveal that axe on Eurus. It's like they want to force a fight like this.
I think Ori's baiting him for his team. If W has to blink up, look to get a lasso, and Emo can get spotted, but they'll smoke up. They had started that Roche, still Fisher is going to be there. He gets burned so doesn't quick. Now the Bowden on to PYW. He's the 5-player away. Emo pops the EKB, but his team's dying around him. He needs to get in there and hit somebody. The problem is he can't. Nobody is available to take out apart from perhaps Yang, but he jukes out the Thorin with the Blink Tagger.
Dire
Yeah,
are
he does have
scanning.
PP. He's not really going to make it out of here, is he?
Oh.
Come on now. He makes it out in time. I can't believe that works. Nobody really went to scout out the tree line.
Cool.
That's just a bad team fight up by IG.
Look at that damage on Eurus for the double damage and enchant to it when he shifts back. That was like plus 900 on one hit. Plus 900.
Come on, Eurus. Give it the enchant totem swoop. That's all marvel in the glory that is ES Morph.
Come on.
Just want to go for the Roche. There it is. Yeah, 1.1k. Very nice. Very battle style.
Oh, Emo.
For this, Emo does get better played off, and now the smoke is going to be up for long. Even though it looks bad, this could be dangerous. The Fisher off, but now again, is Judy stuff. Where is Eurus? He jumps into the backlines, going straight off the full setback. fact, no. He wants JT on the Omni. He does get the Guardian Angel off. Eurus not finished the job off. He needs to get out of this. He will just enchant to put him in play up. DY, however, does end up killing JT off on Omni Knight. Why? He'll give his life up for this, but it's going to be well worth it for the sake of a position 3 Omni Knight tiny. Eurus even plans Karkon through because DY is still running away. Flashlight got to cut him off and get him off. It's a 2-2 trade in the end, but BG Gaming are continuing to find the positive trades.
Dire's
That they
top
are.
tower
I mean,
is
I
under
believe
attack.
it was buybacks they found there on those 2 kills, so they're just compounding on that previous win. I don't know if you caught how JT died, but it was the stack storm drop from DY just to get that last tick off. And the Guardian Angel was on, was like, I don't want to wait around here. He dropped the static storm to ensure that. And BG, I mean, it's still not the best trade in the world. They're only finding supports. So IG does have breathing room there. You can see that Flyfly is of yours in terms of farm. RPL, it's still in a really good spot. That Satanic you were talking about, it's done. It's ready to fly out onto RPL, so there's a lot of durability on Flyfly. You don't have anything to stop that regeneration just yet. Nothing like a Scotty up and running, or even a Shivas or a Spirit Vessel up. Nothing like that just yet, but I'm sure at some point you are going to see that up. You do have a lot of defense himself though. You've got the BKB on yours on top of that Linking, so controlling the morph is going to be a very hard proposition for IG. Got to be really careful with how they space themselves out and how they choose to come in.
I thought he had over 1.1. I thought he had 1.1k damage because he had a double damage active. Eurus still has 1.1k damage once she Lasso, they caught out Emo. Bishop gonna be there and Emo cannot sustain himself. And that means it's Roshan time.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a big one. No buyback available for Emo as well. And they are playing cautiously there. They don't know where the rest of IG's at. They don't want to commit. There's still a lot of AoE IG can bring, especially with Ollie. So just gonna try to take their time and suss it out first.
Oh, in. Eurus just jumps straight in, but he gets pushed up there by Karkon. No great escape from back out. Karkon's getting very low. But Angel, no. The Echo is there with ES. And now Eurus is just man finding this steal. Flyfly, he can't win this one out by himself. He needs some help, but he's not getting it anytime soon. He will topple away, but he does end up going down. Don't worry, and don't worry. We'll just jump straight in on the JT. That poor Omni Knight can't make his way out of there. Zolly is going to try and TP out like Yang did, but it doesn't work quite the same way. Or he does actually check the tree lines. It's going to be a full team one. And now I would dare say they can definitely take the Roshan.
Oh, 100%. Like, you're gonna have Emo off in a bit, but it's just gonna be him by himself. Not enough to stop this, and of course with Eurus, it does not take a very long time with all the damage you can pump out. So you're gonna have to contend with 2 lives on, more than likely, Eurus here. It's just gonna be a lot harder for IG, and they're just not finding those openings this fight. Having that early lead, having, you know, I find that position where he's really hard to kill. When he's isolated like that, it doesn't matter. He's just gonna die anyway.
Dire's
Oh
middle
man, there's a
tower
double
is
damage
under
in
attack.
bot lane as well. Or he's gonna get it, but Eurus wants it. Alright, so now, once he pops double damage, John, we'll see if his true damage is like. Now, in theory, he's hitting for over 2k with Chanto.
Oh god.
Once he pops that DD, right now he's got about 1.3k per auto attack per enchant total. But with this DD room, I'm not so sure what it's gonna look like.
Oh, that's disgusting.
He's for like 3k, not just one hits Flyfly. That's... it just doesn't make sense how this is allowed in the game, John. How's it still a thing? It's been over a year now.
Yeah, it's been almost a full year. We're still seeing this. Although, nah, you can't catch Ori out just with a PL, unfortunately. They are trying to circle around. They see Eurus. I don't know about that one, though.
Emo, danger. Lord, it's not a vision yet. Let's see Yang does live there with Karka into the boat. They just want to get this Earthshaker dead, and they do. It's a great pickup, and that's all it takes to force VG Gaming back. That Echo Slam is a real game changer. Not really in too big of a rush if you're VG Gaming. You've still got heaps of time on the Aegis. They're just gonna have to wait out Yang's respawn before they go any further. But definitely give Eurus time to at least get close to that Ageless he's trying to go for now, Morphling. Unless he TPs into the enemy team, does cancel that TP off and keep farming safely at the top lane.
Yeah, I can't wait for this Daedalus to be out. Enchant, double damage, Daedalus on crit. That's a delete button right there.
It really is. I can only imagine how much. Like, we've got to hope that a DD comes around later on, because he's not going to have that by the time the DD does pop in the bottle. And there it is, by the way. He doesn't even have the ES morph right now, so we don't get to see it, John. Very, very sad news for us.
Yeah. Quite a shame.
Dire's
Still,
top
IG.
tower is under
They choose this
attack.
to smoke up. They smoke under a Radiant Observer ward, though. So, whether or not they catch someone out, it doesn't look like it.
Ori's already out of the bot lane. They can try for Yang in the mid lane. They are actually heading that way. Yang, rest of his team smoke across the map, and he does get lifted up into the turret and mode again. He might get first, but he does get the use of his time, and now with the extra string trying to make a run for it, he does echo his Eurus, who will jump in. He did get the ball on the S before he did it. Nice lifeline is going to go down on the PL, and now the glimpse back on the Emo, but he will blink out of there. Now JT in control, but yes, Finelex, are they going to be enough? Not quite. Emo was hitting way too hard, but Ollie, he does get the stop off. Now, Emo with the turret will try and turn this one around. Firefly, he did buy it back. Now, mind you, they are fighting into the Aegis of Eurus. But with that buyback, it may be enough to force them back. In fact, they do get P1W, but pulled out of there. Firefly's still trying to chase down Eurus, but Ori will jump back in with the silences out. Run out of charges. Scepter, but hasn't committed yet. He might die because of this. He does eventually get it off. Now, Astral Step, no, he's not going to get it off in time. So IG, they're going to make the buyback somewhat worthwhile from Firefly. Looks like they're going to try and take the advantage now and make the push down the mid
Radiant's
lane.
middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's a bit of an opening. They can find this objective. It's just that it's also a dangerous spot for Firefly having expended buyback.
Eurus rather than just jumping in by himself. There's the buyback down from Ori now. JT, he's about to die here. He does heavily face, but Eurus does kill him off, and now Ollie getting very low on the Titan. He's also gone. Now they go straight into Kaka, and everyone is just dying of his another fish around. They crisscross them, they trap Emo in, and it's only Firefly left. And if he dies, it's going to be a buyback. He'll go for the TP play, but they still have the last and the glimpse for that matter. Firefly, he doesn't know where to run. And unfortunately, he does have nowhere to run. Eurus does get an ultra kill, and there's the GG call. Emo has had enough.
Oh man, I mean,
It's a rough game for IG.
VG
oh, I'd say it's rough series, Mike. I mean, we said VG was favored. They make it look very easy up against IG. Unfortunately for IG, that does mean they're gonna have to play another series at the end of the day. But VG, we can see why they are top seed. Seems like they've got a grip in what everyone else is trying to do here.